Hey guys, Wavejump here, and I am back rebooting another series, which you guys seem to have loved, and I actually never knew how many views this video got until I just recently checked my most popular uploads, but it turns out that my series, that happens to be about command blocks in 1.9, got really popular, and in fact, well, at least for my channel standards, and I got close to 800 views on my video about Tellraw, execute, and effect. So I figured I reviewed it, and in this specific video, we will be covering the following: Tellraw, execute, and title. So the reason instead of doing effect, I am doing title for this specific episode is because simply Tellraw goes well with title, and you will see exactly why later on in the video. Alright, so the first thing though, before we go on with commands, is we're going to want to go ahead and, sorry about that, my microphone muted itself. What I was going to say is we are going to basically be doing a bit of setting up with commands, etc. So what we're essentially going to do here is, first off, we are going to need to change something, because you'll notice here when I say execute this title, in chat it shows title command successfully executed. I should mention as well, you're going to want to have creative mode to edit anything, and you need to be off as well. If you guys want to create a world just like mine, basically just create a new super flat world with cheats enabled and make sure that it's set to the void preset. Then just simply change it and just replace all blocks with quartz blocks, which you could learn how to do once I get to the fill episode. We'll get to that eventually. But right now we're just going to hop into the episode. So first off, we're going to want to do game rule, command block output, false. So what this means is that now when I click on this, it no longer shows that annoying title command successfully execute in chat, because when you have repeating command blocks, it becomes a little bit of a problem. And the other thing is I'm also going to want to, for now, make it always day. Anyways, that's a lot of setup and stuff, so let's just get into it. So the first command, of course, we will be covering is the Tellraw command. Now, what the Tellraw command can do is pretty simple, but it goes very well in hand with the execute command because it uses something called JSON formatting. So allow me to explain. So if I go tellraw, the syntax goes like this. It goes tellraw, then the player. So I'm for now going to do add a, which is everybody. So selectors mean add a is going to target every single player. At R is going to target a random player. At P is going to do the nearest player to the command block, and at E allows you to do selections with entities. I'll go farther into that a bit later. Once we get to summon, which will be next episode probably. And then, because we are in 1.9, we have to do some fancy formatting, or 1.10, we have to do some fancy formatting stuff. So first off, we add these two brackets, and we're going to essentially lay it out like this. So you want to add text where those quotes are, and then in the second pair of quotes, and you notice there's a colon in the middle here, we're going to go ahead and add our text. So this would be, this is a Tellraw command. So this is the very basic Tellraw. It'll just print text straight in chat, and the reason this is better than say using /say is because you'll notice here if I use a say command, it adds that at beforehand, and you can't do as much with it. So what I'm going to do here is, so right now all it says is this is a Tellraw command. So we're probably going to want to change the color because the colors are getting really boring. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a comma here, and we're going to add quotes with color inside. We're going to add a colon and add quotes again. And inside of these quotes, we are going to choose a color. Now, one of the things that I find really helpful is to be able to find what the colors are. So what you guys should probably do is go to scoreboard, teams, add, and then just add a letter after it. Make sure you remember what that letter was. Then do scoreboard, teams, option, whatever that team was, which for me was T. Then you just type in color, and if you press enter, you will see a list of all the colors. So right now, let's see, I want to do a dark green example of a Tellraw command. Boom, that's all it takes. I'm not going to go super into detail with like doing multiple colors in a JSON thing because that gets a lot more complicated, but if you guys want me to make a video on that, just let me know down in the comment section below. But I will also show you how to add another line now. So if you use \n after something, that is JSON's signifier for a new line. So now after this, I could type in, this is a Tellraw command on another line. You will see here, bam, it goes on to two different lines. And the reason, of course, why there's a space there is because I did a space after /n. So if I do that now, you'll notice it's all flush. I'm not going to worry about colors right now, but you will learn how to do that eventually. I personally, by the way, don't like to use dark green. I just use green usually for my things because I think it looks pretty nice and it's easy, it stands out. So that is the really basic stuff about Tellraw. I will go into italics and bold once we get over to title, but right now we're going to go over execute. Execute is one of the most helpful commands you will ever use in Minecraft. Why, you ask? Well, you'll use it in nearly every command block contraption you'll make. I've personally used it, I think, in every command block contraption I've made. This is because it has to do with entities. So if I go ahead and summon a chicken here, and again, I'll go into summon command another episode. Notice I have a chicken. Say I want to set the block above that chicken's head to stone. So I go execute at e type equals chicken. At its current location, set block above it to stone. So you could execute as the entity, so it's as if you're as the entity. One thing you could do here that's kind of fun as well is if I were to just say execute at all the entities, and right now there are only 2 because there's me and the chicken should not have any other entities in the world, as it's a void world. If I just tell every entity to go say, I am an entity. So you'll notice right now it shows from Wavejump Games and from Chicken, I am an entity. So how is this useful? Well, it's useful in a lot of different ways, but it's just like, for example, you could do things like detect when an item is dropped near it, have that block, or have something happen to a block, or do things with armor stands, and custom crafting, and execute can be used for a lot, essentially. So we're going to go over the basic syntax right now of the execute command in this command block here. So you'll notice right here it says, this looks confusing. I'm going to go first off the first version of the execute command, and then I'll go over the second version. So it's execute, and then the entity. So again, entity selectors. If you want to do a specific type of entity, this I will go over this episode because I have used it already. You do addy, open bracket, type equals, and then in order to find the type of it, you just do /summon and press tab, and you'll see all the exact names of them. If you have the caps differently, whatever, it's going to break everything. So make sure you have the caps exactly the same. So say I do chicken, it has to be with caps, otherwise it won't work. And you'll notice if I pull up, I'm going to pull this back up so you guys can look at it again. So we're going to do at the chicken's current location, and then a command. So I could go TP TP Wavejump or TP ID type let's tell every entity in a radius of 3 to Wavejump Games. So now when I run this command, you'll see here it teleported every entity in the chicken's radius of 3. So if I add a block of quartz next to it, you'll notice here if I go and press the button now, it teleports both the block of quartz and the chicken to me. So this can be incredibly useful. I'll just leave your mind to guess what you could do with it. But of course, the execute command is the most helpful once you know how to do other stuff. So we're going to just continue on here. So that was the first type of execute. Second type of execute has to do with detecting. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to grab a pig, and we're going to place it on top of a block of obsidian, and we're also going to place one on top of the quartz. And you'll see exactly why in just a moment here, but this, trust me, will be a very helpful explanation for you, hopefully. And the reason I'm doing this essentially is so I could show exactly how this command works. So if I do a pig here, there we go. So the next execute command relies on what's called detecting. So if I do execute at e type equals pig, at its current location, we're going to detect. And by the way, 3 tildes mean at its location. So these are relative coordinates. If you guys want me to go over it again, then either just watch my previous command block series, I go over it in the first couple episodes, or just continue watching here. And we're going to go ahead and detect the block under it. So we're going to check if under it, we're going to have obsidian. We don't need any data, so I'm pretty sure I could just put 0 there. And then we're just going to go say, I'm on obsidian. You'll notice here, when I run it, it only runs from 1 pig. and apparently one of the other pig wandered off the edge. So you notice it only executes for that specific pig. Watch this now. This is going to be interesting. So if I go ahead and move that pig off of the obsidian and I run the command, you'll notice nothing happens. Again, if I put the pig on the obsidian, it goes, oh, there's a pig on the obsidian. I can go ahead and do that. So you could do this, you could use this for a lot of different things. One thing, for example, you could test with players standing over dirt, and then use that for a module like the Desire Lines module, it's a Game Mode 4 module. Essentially what that does, it makes that, basically once you walk over it enough, it'll go ahead and change the blocks below you to darker and darker shades of dirt, different types of dirt, coarse dirt, etc. But anyways, so that is the execute command in a nutshell. So of course the next one, if we check our thing here, is title. So title is an interesting command because a lot of the options into it have to do with, well, what aren't exactly inside the actual command itself. So these are kind of settings. So notice here, if I run this, you could see I could do italic, I could do bold, and this is also a title command. So if I do this one right here, you'll notice that it goes for a fair amount of time. So what I could do title at e subtitle. So this will affect it for all of them. Or I meant to go time, sorry. So if I edit the timing now, if I go, let's change the fade in time. Let's make it instantly appear on the screen. Stay for 5 seconds, or 5 ticks I think that would be, and then it'll instantly disappear. Let's try that now. Bam. So it stays for 5 ticks. I'm going to go ahead and change these times to 1, 5, and 1. And you'll notice here it has a slightly longer time. Change it to 10, which will double the time it's on. And of course what I could do as well is I could go ahead and reset, which means that it'll reset the timing. So currently what I have here is this is one that's demonstrating how you do italic. So the formatting for a title command is very, very similar to how you format a wait, what am I saying, honestly, right now? It's very similar to how you format a Tellraw command. Not sure why I couldn't remember what that's called. But essentially what you do here, so say I were to create a small subtitle. I would go title at A, because I want to do it to every single player. And I go subtitle. And now I could go ahead and go text, test, and that would go ahead and create a subtitle for me. As to why it's not appearing right now, honestly, I have no clue because it should be appearing on screen. But you'll notice, oh right, sorry guys, I'm forgetting completely. So subtitles automatically go along with titles. So if I just run subtitle by itself, it won't show up, but it will show up with title. So, and you'll notice here, I should be able, I think, I could obviously just clear the subtitle by setting the text to nothing. The subtitle is formatted exactly like the top title. So you'll notice here, actually, I'll show you all the different options. So clear means you could clear the subtitle. Reset, of course, you have seen, and times you have seen. And so basically you just do title, Wavejump Games, title. So you already know how to format all of this text here. By the way, I should warn you, \n does not work here. You cannot do multiple lines with title. That's what subtitle's for. So if you're like me and you try and use /n on it, it'll show a weird character. So don't do that because otherwise it'll turn out all oddly. But you'll notice here you could add more tags. This is something I should have shown you with Tellraw earlier. But for example, this is the italic tag. So if I change the italic tag there you go, you'll notice it's italic. Change that to false now, you'll see that it's just normal. And you could do this with, say, bold. So I added bold there. And there are some other tags. If you guys want to check out all the different tags, I will have a link to them. If I remember, I will have a link to a forum post with all the different tags you could use. Although I think it's pretty easy to figure out yourself. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comment section down below what you want to see next. If you want me to go more in depth with a certain command, and just in general things with stuff, how much you like the video, share it with somebody if they need help. And yeah, guys, hope you have enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye!